we had a couple of comments on my channel, and I do go through the comments as best I can. I do a lot of hiatal hernia, not only, but a lot of hiatal hernia videos, and some of them people are asking me, are there natural solutions for groin hernia? And you know, and when people say that, that's kind of a loose term. There are a few hernias there in the groin area, but if we're talking about an inguinal hernia, there's some dangers behind having an inguinal hernia, and some of those involve your family jewels. And guys, I don't know if you want to play around with that. I wouldn't want to. So if you have an inguinal hernia over by the scrotum area, then you need to get that looked at, okay? Go to a men's health place and get that looked at. And, you know, it may not be a hernia, it may be something else, right? It could be a couple of other things. We've had a patient with like a cyst there. It wasn't a hernia. It looked like a hernia, absolutely looked like one. And actually that was the best thing that can happen. It was like a lipoma or something, and just had it removed. So it didn't have to have the hernia surgery. But going back to the question that I get a lot, are there alternative methods for hernias? Yes, for hiatal hernia, but that's not what this video is about, right? We've talked about the hiatal hernia maneuver and being able to do that with the reflux shield, or your hand, or however you do that. Your partner does it, your chiropractor does it. You know, the reflux shield is a self-help device to do that, but all the other hernias out there. So the inguinal hernia, the abdominal, the epigastric, and an abdominal and an epigastric hernia is not, or umbilical hernia, is not a hiatal hernia. Okay, those are different. So that's where a muscle protrudes through another muscle wall, whereas a hiatal hernia is an organ that protrudes through a muscle wall, in this case the diaphragm. But for other like abdominal, epigastric, inguinal hernias, femoral hernias, you know, those are muscle pushing through another muscle. So yeah, you could push it back in with your fingers, I guess. I mean, but if it keeps popping out, you can try other methods like trying to strengthen that area. But oftentimes people that strengthen that area find that it pops out even more. So then you gotta ask yourself, well, why do you have that, right? And some people, like after giving birth, get weakness in the abdominal wall here, in the muscles, in the obliques, and all the other muscles there in the abdominal region. And you know, there could be different causes for hernias, or there could be no cause at all. So I don't think you need to wrap your head around that too much. But natural approaches to hernias, for the most part, most often don't work. Usually over time that hernia may get worse. What you can do is prevent that from happening in the first place. Lifting properly, ergonomically properly. Don't overlift. If you can't lift that item, stop. Don't do it yourself. Ask for help, or put it onto something else to move it. You know, whatever it is you're doing. But being smart about that, those are the best ways. But once you already have the hernia, sometimes you do need surgery, and sometimes mesh is required. And the mesh surgery, some people get the mesh surgery if they have like an umbilical hernia or epigastric hernia, and they get it in the stomach area, right below where the diaphragm is, and the hiatal hernia herniates. So that can cause complications when doing the hiatal hernia maneuver, because the first 2 inches are fine, but if the mesh is below that, that can possibly dislodge it or irritate it. And for those of you that have had mesh surgery, some of you have probably had some difficulties, and there have been a lot of people that have had no problems at all. But I've definitely had patients with issues where it feels like it's pinching the mesh. So, but the materials have improved, the surgeries have improved, and the answer in short is there's not really a lot you can do naturally to correct the other like inguinal hernias, femoral hernias, epigastric, umbilical hernias that are in the groin area, stomach area. The hiatal hernia, ironically though, is the one hernia that you can pull down with the hiatal hernia maneuver technique or the reflux shield. So if you have any questions or comments, please comment below. But if you have questions, obviously leave them in the comments. But before I keep going, I want to say that a lot of the videos come directly from your comments. But I read through them and I look for patterns, and I look for when the same question keeps coming up again and again about reflux, hiatal hernias in general, costochondritis, posture, breathing, body mechanics. This usually tells me, okay, this needs to become a video. So your comments help. I really appreciate them. So if you have a question, leave it in the comments. I may be able to answer it. I may not be able to answer every single one, but your question might turn into the next video. Now, if you want to go deeper into whatever subject it may be, or increase or gain more access to me, then I also have channel memberships that we just started. So tier 1 is the Feel Great Insider, and you're going to get extra posts, polls, early access to videos, and members only live chat during select live streams. And then we have tier 2, which is the Feel Great Wellness Club, and that's where you're going to get monthly members only educational Q&A live streams. And then tier 3 is the Dr. Feel Great Masterclass. Now this is for people with hiatal hernia or costochondritis, where we're going to dive deeper with monthly masterclass style trainings and priority questions that will be answered. So if you're not ready for that, no problem. Okay, the free version is still powerful, so hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, leave a good comment. That alone helps me know what you want me to cover. Your comments are basically the waiting room clipboard, I guess you could say, for this channel. So fill it out. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you guys so much. If you got anything from this video, or even if you just like this view of the Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building, give me a like and don't forget to subscribe. Appreciate you guys.